Okay, y'all, I'm going to attempt this sea turtle. I've never done one with alcohol inks before, but I figured it can't hurt to try. And what I've got is just a couple of different small brushes. And I have 2 cups with 91% alcohol. One is for cleaning my brushes, the other is to have clean alcohol. I have a couple of different palettes like this, and these are old alcohol colors that I'd already used, and I'll use these. You can use a variety of blues, browns, orange, red, purples, and the first thing I do is I'm going to stick my brush in just plain alcohol. I'm going to, if you look, you'll see that I kind of have a little bit of an outline on here, and then I erased it, which kind of made it look dirty looking, but I don't think that'll show after we're done. Hopefully not, anyway. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to find one of these little spots. I also have a paper towel. And I'm just going to find one of these random spots on here, like say, for instance, this one. And I'm just going to choose a color. I think I'm going to go with blue. And I'm going to start out light and build my color up as needed. So I'm going to just come in and color this in. Now, while I have that blue on my brush, I'm going to come on down here and hit a few of these. I'm going to come in with a little bit darker blue this time and start applying that. Oops. And I'm just doing this in random areas. I have quite a bit of alcohol in this brush. I want to add just a little bit of black to that. Now, as you're doing this, oops, you can do this in any colors that you want to. I'm just experimenting, I guess. Now, if you get a color like you don't want, just take, this just has a little bit of alcohol on it, and I'm just going to lightly rub some of that color out. A little bit of blue. If you hear my child and her friend on the phone, they're ungodly loud sometimes. I'm going to add a little bit of purple to my brush. I did not rinse my brush, I just left that blue that was in there. Now, as you know, there's going to be well, most people know, there's going to be areas here that we need to leave white, and some places I may not even have a little marking, but I'm going to go ahead and fill it in as I see necessary. I got a little bit of blue and my purple mixed, which makes a darker color, and I'm just going to continue layering this and hope for the best, because I have no idea what I'm doing. I can't tell you what colors I'm using because I mix so many colors on those little palettes that they're kind of all mixed. Okay. And you just continue doing this until you have all of the little spots filled. Or that's what I'm going to do anyway. I'm leaving, oops. I'm leaving the white in between here. But in some areas I want it to look smaller, so I'll go in and fill some extra spots in. I want the color to be pretty vibrant because I've got the background quite dark. And as you can see, I'm just adding spots, and I'm not going to record this whole part because I think you'll get the general idea. And you just keep layering it until you get the color that you want. Now here, I got that spot which should have a white line in between it, and I kind of eliminated that. You can get rid of that a couple of different ways. This is the color blender, and I'll take and just go in between this and wipe that off on a paper towel, and I'll fix this line. Same here. Oops, didn't mean to do that. You could also thought I'd come back briefly and show you guys how I got this look. Around here, I just took some dark brown. I just have a little bit of alcohol on my brush, and I just came in and gave this some little dots of the dark brown. And all of this is just about building layers. I will likely do the same thing on the other leg, but just not as much because that's not going to show very much. That's kind of in the background a little bit. But I mainly added these dots just around the bottom of all of those different blues and purples that we added in. So I'm going to continue to do this, and until I finish this leg completely up. Most of this up here is in the brown, so I'll go ahead and start filling that in. There's a lot of brown here. There's also going to be some black, and I'll just build those colors as I go. So I shall return. For the belly area, it's basically all just like different shades of light brown, and all I did was get some alcohol ink on my brush, added a little bit of brown, dabbed it off on a paper towel, and I'm just going to come in and fill in this area. Now up here, I want to start building a little bit of shape if possible, and just kind of lightly hit and miss here. Same here. Now in a moment I'll come in and I will darken some of these, like those one spots that I had up there. I'll darken some of those back up. Around his little neck, I'm going to go ahead and add some brown up here, but I'll be also adding some blue up there. And for here, underneath his mouth, I'll do the same. And I'll go ahead and fill all of this in. And like I said, I'll be adding some different shades. Some more brown. I'll be adding a little bit of black, a little bit of blue in here. If there's any area that you want to have a little bit wider, brighter, you can come in with a clean brush with just a little bit of alcohol and come in between these to lighten some of those up, like that. You can also do that with the blender pen too. Okay, I'm going to be adding a little bit of bluish green, like almost like a teal color, and I'm going to add it. Oh, don't like that. Scratch that. A little bit more blue. I'm going to leave that green there because it's okay. I'm going to bring this down. I'm probably going to erase a little bit of that, but for now I'm going to leave it. I have a clean brush with just a little bit of alcohol, and I'm just going to drag this down some. I may make this a little bit darker at the top with a little bit of black. I don't know yet. But I'm just going to smooth this out some. One thing about it, if you screw it up too bad, you can always take a blender pen and erase it back out. Or a Q-tip, same thing. So, there we go. Maybe I'll add just a tad bit of brown to that. Just a little. Okay, have a clean brush. I want to leave that blue up there, but okay, I think that's pretty good. Okay, for his belly area, I'm going to come in with some more darker brown. So I just have a little bit of alcohol on my brush, and I'm going to come here and just start darkening this up. I've kind of lost my lines here, so I'm just going to wing it. In a moment, I'll probably add some black into that, I believe. Maybe even a little bit of green. I haven't decided yet. But I'm just going to darken. The main belly area here isn't going to be as dark as this area. Oops. Oh, that green looks good in there. Okay. All right. We'll come back over these spots. I think I need to add just a little bit of black to that. This area should be, oh, maybe a little bit of alcohol. This area needs to be a little dark. All right, this is just black and brown on the tip, very, very tip end of my brush. And I'm just tapping. No idea what I'm doing, but I think it'll look good. I hope so. Okay, a little bit more black. I'm going to get here really, really dark as possible. I'm going to leave that black on my brush, and I added just a little bit of alcohol to my brush. And I'm going to come over here and just put in a few spots. I'm going to make this area dark. And just little dabs. Back into my brown. And I'm going to darken some of these. I'm just guessing, just adding dots, squares, triangles, the various shapes that a turtles may have in them. I'm going to bring some of that brown down in here in the black. Underneath here, go ahead and start filling some of those in. You can build on this color as you go. Now I'm sure that this is not what a sea turtle looks like, but I'll call him a fun turtle. Okay, I'm going to come back in here and darken this up just a little. Oh, I don't want that to go outside. That kind of backfired, but I'm going to work with it. And I'm just going to dab it out. I'm going to add a little bit of blue. again, because I kind of screwed it up. Okay. I'm going to come back to my brown. And darken under his chin. I'm going to continue to darken these layers as I go. Add some more dots down here. Okay, I'm going to continue, and this still needs to be darkened some, and all I have on here is black. And I'm just tapping. Okay, I kind of lost my roundness here. So I'm going to take a Q-tip with just a little bit of alcohol ink. I mean, 91% alcohol. I'm going to round this back out. I kept going down, and I lost that. And I'll come in a moment and add some more brown down there, but I want to get this area darkened first. Lots and lots of little taps. Okay, I think that's pretty good for that side. Same thing over here. Keep your roundness here. And just darken this area in. And I'm going to darken that all the way up. also going to darken it around here just a little. And if I find that we need to lighten it later, I'll come in and just with some alcohol, plain alcohol on my brush, and dab that, and it'll lighten it up. But for now, I'm going to leave it dark. Okay. Now to fix this area that I erased, I'm just going to come in and apply my brown again. I just have alcohol on my brush this time. No, actually, I'm going to add just a little bit of brown. I mean very, very little. Dab it on a paper towel and come in and move a little bit of this color. Okay, I want to put little dots here. Just to give this a little bit of texture movement. Okay. It'll break up some of those harsh lines and give it a nice look. Okay. I rinsed out my brush. I'm going to come right along here and fix this just a little bit. Rinse my brush again. I have my blender. I'm just going to come in and erase a little bit of that. I'm going to come in with a little bit of the blue and just extend this out some. And the same here. And I did not explain what I did here. I had some bigger spots of brown here, but I didn't like those, so I just kind of took my brush with a little bit of alcohol on it and just tapped the whole belly area. And I like that a lot better. I also rounded it a little bit more and put some, I just moved, like took my brush and did this and it brought some of that black down to here. And I think that looks a lot better. But I think he's coming along very well. This is the neckline. And I basically just took it in like a wrinkly shape around his neck, leaving a lot of this area. It's not white, but it's kind of a really, really light tannish color. I left some of that tannish color up here, and as it went down, it got whiter in the center and paler around the edges. But I think he's coming along very well. I think I'm done with this area, all of this. But you know, as you look at things, you decide and change your mind 100,000 times. Let's work on his mouth area. And I've just got a little bit of alcohol on my brush. And I'm going to go into a little bit of black. And I'm going to darken underneath his mouth area. I may go over this a few times to get it as dark as I need. Okay, I'll leave it like that for now. For this leg, we're going to leave this leg fairly light, and I'm just going to come in and start applying some color, and I'm going to lightly apply a shade of blue, just a really light blue. Leaving the center part here lighter. This still looks off to me. I may come in and fix that some. I'm going to rinse out my brush. I'm just going to get plain alcohol, just a little bit on my brush, dab it off with a paper towel, and just come in and rub this color around. I want it to get lighter and lighter in the center area. Okay. Come in with a little bit of blue and purple, but more blue. and just start putting in we don't want too much detail on him on this area. I don't think, unless I change my mind as I go. I can barely see my line work. I think I erased it too much, but I'm just kind of guessing. A little more blue on my brush. And just little movement. Little change since my last portion of the video. I erased some color that I had up here, and I made it the shell bigger just because it just seemed more fitting to do so. Also, here where the leg area is, I'm going to widen this a little bit. I know it's a lot of back and forth, but that's how I work. So I'm going to take a little bit of alcohol on a brush, and here where his leg is, flipper is, I probably called it a leg 100 times. I'm going to widen this out and just erase some of this color. As I do this, I am wiping this off on a paper towel. And I'm just going to blend this brown and blues into here. And I'll come back in and add those. Little taps with alcohol. Just to get some color over here. Tapping over top of my blue, I'll come back in and add it. And just moving some color around. Back here in the back, I'm going to widen this a little bit too. Just a little. Now, I don't have to remove too much of this. because back here I kind of want all this to fade in. So I'm just going to do some little taps. Okay. Now I'm going to get a little bit of blue on my brush, and I'm going to come in and just place some blue. Add a little bit of blue back here, it'll turn more green. A little bit of blue and purple, make a darker blue, and do the same. And just build that color up. Come back here and add some of that. Go into a little bit of brown. I rinsed my brush. And build some brown into this just by tapping. I don't know if this makes this any better, but I want to believe that it will. I think my video cut off and I didn't realize it, but when I did this other leg, I just basically went in with some purple and then some black around the edges. I still got to darken this up some, darken underneath his neck. Excuse me, but I did more black toned down to put this in the background area. Okay, for his belly area, I've already got it textured. I'm going to come in with a little bit of brown and black and just build up some color here. I have quite a bit of alcohol in my brush, not extremely lot, but more than what I would use if I were working on the flipper or whatever. Now, I am totally just guessing on this area because I don't have a clue, but I have to imagine that that's okay. Okay, I think that's good. And if not, I'll come back to it after looking at it a little bit. I did not like that first time that I did this, so not quite sure what I didn't like about it, but I did. Still not sure if I like that, but it is what it is for now. Okay, just alcohol on my brush this time, and I'm going to try to smooth out some of these lines. I'm going to darken this one up just a little bit. Okay. Okay, for this area, I loaded my brush with alcohol. I put a little bit of black on the tip, and I'm going to come in here and darken this even more. Just little taps, like all the rest of him. I hope you guys can see that. Oops. Wow, sorry. I'm going to add the black here, but not as defined as it is down here. Not going up as high. Kind of keeping it to the bottom. I'm going to rinse out my brush and go into a little bit of brown. And I'm going to come here and just kind of make these colors kind of bleed together. Rinse out my brush again. No color on my brush this time, and I'm just going to tap this. I'll dip down here in this black a little bit and then bring it up here a little bit. I'm new to alcohol ink. My friend Lola Gonzalez, Paint with Lola is her YouTube channel, and she has taught me so much. I watch a lot of YouTube videos of other artists, and really hated alcohol inks at first, and now I've grown to really like them. I wanted to give up those first few days. I was like, crap, I cannot do this. And then I didn't give up. I kept trying, and I really like it. I like it because I like to get little tiny fine details, and I can seem to do that with this. Okay, so this time I dipped in green, and I'm going to put a little green down here. I'm going to let it spread up through this brown, spread down through here, his neck area, and I'm going to let that black and green just kind of blend on their own, and just pouncing, dabbing color. A little more green, and I'm going to incorporate that into here. Now, if I find that I don't like that, I'll just come back over it with black and brown. But I think it looks pretty cool. Okay. Let's put a little bit of that under his chin. and maybe a little over here. Can't really tell it too much over here because we have so much browns and blues, and they kind of make their own little beautiful green. I'm just going to kind of tap a little bit here just to give that some texture back here. Now I'm not covering up all of that white, but I'm just tapping a little bit of this into the white to kind of make all of that blend. I'm leaving basically this part pretty bright. I'm going to separate this just a little bit. I put too much there. Okay. Let's go in with some more black. And let's darken this a little bit. Ooh, I'm just going to let that bleed. Don't know if I meant to put that much stack on it. No, scratch that. I'm going to tap some of that out. I did not mean to put that much. I had too much alcohol on my brush. So keep that in mind, guys. Trial and error, I suppose. That was a big, huge error. Okay, let's go into a little bit of blue and purple. And tap some of that back in because I darkened that way too much. Sorry, guys. Worst case scenario, I could erase this leg and start over. Or flipper. Keep calling it a stupid leg. So if I say leg, you know what I mean. More blue. Get some of the shape back in there. Wow, I have totally screwed that up. I hate this. Okay, I might be getting it now. This is just alcohol, no color whatsoever. And I'm gonna tap some of this back. Oops, sorry. A little bit of black down here. Okay, I think that's good. For now, if I decide I don't like it later, I'll just wipe it out and redo it. I am going to come in here and just straighten this up just a little bit. That was just with a little bit of alcohol. Okay. Can't quit working on it, sorry. Okay, I think. All right, let's move onward. Let's move around to his back. I'm doing his face last because that's the scariest part for me. So we'll do the shell on his back, and then we'll do his face and he'll be finished. I know it's a long, tedious process. Sorry, but I take my time when I work with my art. Okay, still not sure about this area where the leg connects to, or the flipper, oh my gosh, connects. So I just have some alcohol on my brush, and I'm gonna maybe try to make just a little wrinkly look here without disturbing a lot of the leg. I don't know if that'll fix it. but the way the leg is now is driving me, I mean the flipper is driving me crazy. So I'm just going to tap this out. It just looks like it's sticking on top, if that makes sense. And I want it to blend in with the body, so you'll probably hear my dog barking, sorry. But I kind of want all of this to just kind of flow. I'm going to tap in on this little marking that I screwed up. Okay. Hope you guys can see that. I'm just kind of trying to make everything look like it's wrinkly here. Instead of just a blunt leg sticking out, or flipper. Jeez. Okay. I rinse my brush again. And I'm just going to come in here and whiten some of this up again. And just kind of tap a little bit. I'm going to add just a little bit of blue here. I'm going to tap down here in this dark area and bring a little bit of that up here, just to mute that a little bit. Okay, I think that might look better. Same thing here. I think this looks out of place, so again, just plain alcohol, and I'm just going to widen this a little bit. Take off some of that color, wiping it on my paper towel, and then I'm just going to come in and tap. I got a little bit of green on my brush this time, and I'm just going to tap. Okay. I had way too much alcohol, so now I've got to backtrack a little bit, coming in with a little bit of blue and purple, and going to tap it in here. I want to leave some of that brown. Okay. My dog scratching at the door again. Okay, for his shell, I didn't record this part, but I came in with just a little bit of alcohol on my brush, no color or anything, and I just kind of went over these areas to make this look wrinkled. I did the same thing for underneath his neck where the green is. And let me see if I can show you. I just came in and just lightly, I mean just barely, moved some of this color to make it look wrinkly. And you just keep going over that until you get the wrinkly look that you want. So, for his shell, I'm going to clear out some of this. And I just have alcohol on my brush. His shell keeps getting bigger and bigger. Okay. And I'm going to go into some blue and maybe a little bit of green, make a teal color. And I'm going to start here at the top and just apply some color. Then I'm going to take and just move that around. I wanted it a little bit lighter here at the top, if possible. I dipped my brush in alcohol, dabbed it on a paper towel. I left some of that color in there. And I'm just going to come in here and put some random dots. I'm not sure if I'm going to like that. No, I don't like that. Never mind. Okay, I'm going to come up here at the top and I'm going to lighten this. And I'm just going to move this bottom color. I want it to look textured, but I don't think I'm going to put those dots in there, but I may change my mind. Or at least not the white dots, I should say. I left some of that blue on here and just dotting a little. I dipped my brush in alcohol added just a little bit of green. And I'm going to put a little bit of green dots in here. Okay, I'm going to the blender pen now, and I'm going to lighten this again at the top. I absolutely hate that. So I'm going to come in with a little bit of blue, a little bit of green. Dab my brush off in on a paper towel. And just blend this back up. I didn't want that harsh black line up there, so the harsh black line is because I had previously tried the shell and it looked horrible. I'm trying to do a little bit of a looser look to his shell. Trial and error, guys, sorry. Going back into my green. A little bit of teal. Okay. I am going to erase this out if I can. I don't want that black line up there. So this is just pure alcohol. And I'm wiping and dabbing on a paper towel. And I'm going to do the same thing for the back. The back isn't too bad, and it won't hurt for it to be darker back here. Okay, let's continue with the teal color. I may come down and put a little bit of teal on his leg, or flipper, whatever it is. Okay, let's choose a big area here and just color this in. And I want this line to be pretty thin, the white line in between here. You may hear my dishwasher. I'm too lazy to wash dishes, so. Okay, let's go continue with that color. And I gotta straighten this up just a little. And let's go ahead and let's add a little bit more green to that. And let's put one back here. Now I would assume that you could color this whole shell and then come in and remove your lines, but I'm not doing it that way. Up here at the front, let's do that again. Oh, I want a little bit more blue on this part. And let's add a little bit of blue down here and just extend this out. And just bring that up into your green and blend them. Or your teal. Okay, I dipped my brush in alcohol and I just dampened it, dabbed it on the paper towel. I did not rinse it, and I'm just going to move this color. I'm going to go into some blue. Oops. Wow. Kind of almost screwed that up. Just going to remove a little bit of that with my blender. And just move that color until you get the look you're going for. if your brush begins to get dry, just dip it in a little bit of alcohol. Okay, going into my green. I did rinse my brush this time, and I'm going to begin dotting. Big dots, little dots, doesn't matter. Okay, I came in and added the green dots. I added some teal dots, which turned kind of white and cool looking. And then I added some brown dots on his shell. To continue with his shell, I think I'm going to start out with actually, let's move to his leg real quick, because I wanted to put some of this teal color down here in his leg to make it all blend. And I'm just taking teal and dotting. I don't want to get rid of all that blue, because I think I'm going to add some blue dots up here, and I'm also going to add some blue dots around the rim of his shell. I don't know what it's called, but I've got so much of this dark blue down here that it's kind of overpowering. So I'm just going to come in and dot around these again. Give them their shape back. Probably should have thought about that leg before, flipper before I did all that, but I just think that dark blue was just too much down here. Okay, just a little bit of alcohol on my brush now. And I'm just going to come in and lighten this a little. I will pick up some of this blue, some of the teal, and the brown as I go. And if I pick up too much, then I'm just going to dab my brush off on a paper towel. Okay, now for his shell, I've got to get some clean alcohol real quick. Alcohol is very, very hard to come by here. Probably everywhere. I had a friend, her name is Paula Toller Jen, I think it is. And she was kind enough to donate me a bottle of alcohol. Bless her heart, because I can't find it anywhere. It is just simply not available. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit of teal to this leg. Not much, just a little. Oop. That's what happens when you get too much alcohol. Gosh, I hate when that happens because I'm just constantly going back and forth, back and forth. But I'll just come in and add some teal dots into those. Give them a little bit of shape instead of round, hopefully. Wow, I totally screwed that up. So, I'm just going to come in with just plain alcohol and move this down. Get rid of that harsh line. Tap in the center. I'm just tapping around the edge of that harsh line is all I'm doing. If I get too much color, again, I will wipe my brush off onto the paper towel, just so I can come back in and soften those. Come in and clean up a little bit. I'm just going to tap this out a little bit to make it all blend. Okay, back to his shell. I'm going to start out with the teal color. And I'm going to come up here where his neck is and just apply this color. It's going to bleed in with that, and it's fine. And then I'm going to continue to do that. I am grabbing different shades of the teal. I may even add a little bit of purple into that. Just continue to bring that around. Now if my color gets too muddy, I'll take and rinse my brush and come in and wipe this out a little bit. Here I'm just going to, I'm not adding any color, I'm just moving this green back here. Okay. This is a little bit too bright, so I'm going to come in with some blue, I think. I'm going to move that blue on back. And I'm going to put some blue dots here. And let's put a few up here. Just to bring some of that blue up. And let's continue and add, oh, wow, don't get too much alcohol. I'm going to add a few of those here. Just hit and miss. Let's do the same with some green. And a little brown. Okay. I guess he's kind of fun. Alright, moving onward. I suppose I have to start his face. Okay, I've been working on his flipper again a little bit, just to get rid of some of that harshness. And what I've been doing is coming in and tapping on some of these harsh lines that I'm seeing, and tapping them out a little bit as I need to make my lines a little bit closer. I'm just going to go ahead and combine this little dot with that one. And then I clean my blender on a paper towel, and I'm just continually doing this until I get it smooth looking, I guess, instead of looking so harsh. Now if I find that I remove too much color, I'll come down here and tap, pick up a little bit of color, and bring it up here. Or you could even put some more color on your brush and add it back in if you want to. But I find it just as easy to come down here and tap into the color and then bring it up. So that's what I've been doing. It's a learning process. I know it's a lot of back and forth, but that's just how I work. I'm going to combine these two. And I'm going to just fool with this until I get the look that I'm going for. Going to combine this, and all I'm doing is tapping into the color over here and bringing it over. Now if I get an area, I clean my tip of my blender good. If I get an area that I've gotten too close and remove the line, I'll just come in and add it back. Like so. I'm going to combine these two. And maybe a little here. When you're working with alcohol inks, I'm new to it, so I have a lot to learn, but sometimes they get gummy looking, like inside here, but I need that area dark, so I'm leaving that. But I didn't want it to look like that here. I wanted this to look smooth, I guess. So that's why I'm going back. That's why I'm going back and doing this. A lot of back and forth. Okay, so I need this little line here. So I'm just going to come back in and add it. And I'm going to tap back into that color and just bring it down as really close as I can. I'm going to bring up a little bit of blue. It's still turning green, but that's okay. I'll leave it there. This one's a little bit harsh. So I'll smooth that out. Same here. Excuse me. This a little bit harsh. Okay. I think that's pretty good. I like that a lot better. I don't think I'm going to fool with this leg or flipper, but I'm going to go in here in these dark blue areas and just put a few dots. Just to give it a little bit of fun shape. I want this leg to be a little bit muted in the background, I guess. So you could basically do the same thing with this one as well. If you need to move your color, just tap out, tap in, and then tap out. Excuse me. I went shopping for flowers yesterday, and my allergies have been haywire ever since. Okay, I think that's good enough for now. If I decide to change it later, I can. The good thing with alcohol inks is you can erase this if you need to and start over. I did that on the shell 2 or 3 times already. I wasn't happy with how the shell looked. It was hideous. So I would go in, erase it, change it, get it the way I wanted it. Okay, I think that's good enough for that one. Tap out some of this dark blue here. Alright, now I think we are left to do his face, which I am a little bit terrified of. But I suppose we can do this. I think we'll do that next. Okay, I'm going to try this again. I thought my camera was recording, but it wasn't. And so I painted this once already and erased it. I just erased it with alcohol and then the blending pen. But this is just brown on the tip end of my brush. And I can kind of see the previous spots that I had on here, but not great. So a lot of this is just going to be guessing. And I'm just applying these brown spots. I think the brown I'm using at this point is sepia. I may bring a little bit of blue or teal up into this to make this blend well. As I go, I'll be tapping just like I did on all the other parts of his body. I still want to leave some light color in between these. Still just using brown. Around the bottom of his eye is just some little dot markings. I may come in and darken those up with adding a little bit of black, I believe. I was going to do his eye first, but changed my mind. And the reason I changed my mind was because his eye has black in it, and I didn't want the black to interfere with this. So I'll do his eye last. I'm very, very big on, I think eyes need to be beautiful in artwork. So I'll save it for last. Just adding some dots for some texture back here. Hopefully my phone won't screw up this time. It's low on memory, so even though I've deleted every video, every photo, I have stupid iPhone. I am pulling some color from here and just moving it down to close in this gap a little bit. I don't want a huge gap here, but I don't want to cover up all the white either. So I'm just tapping in here and pulling color out just like we did for the flippers. for around his eye. You want to kind of give it a round shape here. They have markings. That go around. For here, I'm just going to add in some markings. I'm going to do the same here. I don't know if that's proper or not, but that's what I'm doing. You can do however you see fit. I'm going to do the same here. Okay, continuing on with his face. Again, I've just got brown on my brush, and I'm just adding the markings. I don't quite like this, so I'm going to come in and add another marking. And just tap in some texture. Bring this a little bit closer. And then for this area, it's going to come down and around. I absolutely have no idea if this is right. Kind of doesn't look right. Don't like that at all. So I'm going to come in with my blender marker and erase this. Sorry. Put in a couple of dots here. This still does come around and down. And then I'm going to bring this color down. I'm going to rinse out my brush. and I'm going to just move this color around. And just do some taps. Get rid of this harsh line here. Come in with just some brown and add another marking here. Tap into this. Okay. This time I have brown on my brush, and I'm going to add a little bit of black to that. And I'm going to come here and just tap. I'm also going to tap a little bit around his eye. Kind of hate that. Sorry. So I rinsed out my brush, and I'm just going to come in and smooth this out. Let that black bleed into the brown. Bring some of that black up. And just kind of blend it in. I do not want to redo this turtle face at all. So I'm going to try to make that work. I rinsed my brush again, and I'm going to come in and still smooth this out some. Get rid of that harsh line if I can. And then tap. Tap some of this dark color over to there. Okay, I'm going to come in with my blender pen, the small end, and I'm going to erase that a little bit. All right. Come back in with some brown. And tap this down, but don't close your line, if you can help it. Bring some of that brown down to here. And I'm going to extend this out just a little bit. I went into just a little bit of black. With my brown that was already on my brush. And I'm just going to add in some dark areas. Had a little bit too much alcohol, but I'm just going to work with it. Tapping around the neckline a little bit. If you hear me breathing, it's because my stupid camera is like right at my nose. Just continually tap until you get the color that you want. Eventually I'm going to have to clean out my little trays that I work with because I keep, oops, maybe too much, let's see. I keep wiping my brush on the side and they look hideous. I may have to come back in here and add some more brown on that because I kind of took it away with the black. Okay. A little bit more and we'll be done with this part. I still have to fix this. This is way harder than I imagined it being. I thought, who couldn't do a turtle in inks? Well, wasn't one of my easiest art pieces. I've been working on this off and on for 3 days. Alright, let's go into a little bit of green. A little bit of black. Even some of that brown if you want to. And let's add a little green in here. Mostly keeping it in the brown areas. I'm going to add some of these darker dots kind of in between. Still, again, not covering up all my white. There was an area down here that was bugging me, so I'm going to add a couple of dots here. Okay, let's see. I added a little bit more alcohol this time so it'll bring out some of that brightness of the green. As you can tell, I really like these little dots. I just think they're fun. Not so much doing them. They're just fun in the art piece. Okay. Let's go into a little bit of blue and a little bit of green. Let's do a teal color real quick. And let's tap that in up here, just a little. So it seems I moved him out of view, but I just went in and added green dots on top of the light brown parts. I also added a little bit of teal blue dots here. I did not mean to get out of view. It's just I wasn't paying attention when I moved that paper. Sorry about that. I do see that I need to do a little bit of adjusting. And I'm putting just a little bit of brown on my tip end of my brush, and I'm going to bring this together. I just think that kind of looks odd. It still may look odd. It's like I don't have the shape right there or something. So I'm going to try to fix it. I'm going to bring this out just a little bit and up, trying not to cover up that whole line. Let's tap into some of that black and move it over here. Put a little bit of black on the tip end of my brush. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and fix a little bit of this. I've got black on my brush, and I'm just going to come in here and define this line again because I kind of lost it. And we'll come in with my blender marker and erase just a little bit right here. Also here. I'm going to make a separation here. And then I'm going to come in with just a little bit of alcohol on my brush. No color or anything. And I'm going to move this up some. And I'm going to leave these markings in here. I'm going to come down here and tap that out some. Blend that towards the bottom. Okay, I'm going to come in with my blender marker and just do a few light taps. Not like so. I do not like this at all. So I'm going to come in and remove the top portion of that. That kind of makes it look like his eyelid, I guess. So I'm going to come in with just alcohol on my brush. It's almost dry, but it has a little bit of alcohol in it. And I'm just going to brush this around. Kind of make that look like his eyelid. I'm also going to brush underneath. Okay. I'm going to come in with a little bit of green and black. And I'm still going to tap in just a little bit of this green around these edges. Not sure if I like that. So I cleaned off my brush, or sorry, rinsed my brush, and I'm going to come in and just lift a little bit of that and just move it around. I still don't want to cover up all of my light areas. So I'm going to come in with the blender and just tap it. I think I'm pretty satisfied with that. And last but not least, the scariest part for me, his eye, because I don't know if I can do it in alcohol ink. I'm going to clean that up just a little bit. This still looks odd to me. So I'm going to come in, just alcohol on my brush, and I'm going to bring this on down some. Sorry. if that looks right either. Okay, I think I may know. I think this has to come around and down. I just have alcohol on my brush and around again, like so. What a mess. So with my blender, down and around that way maybe. Hopefully this will fix it. And then this, I'm going to come in with a little bit of brown again. Sorry. Add some brown into here. Oops. Come in with a little bit of brown here. Just move this around. I'm just reshaping it. That's all I'm doing. I got way too much alcohol. Shoot. That might be okay. And I'm just going to come in and do some taps. Separate this a little bit. I'm going to bring this back some. Added some more brown to my brush, and I'm going to tap it in just to get it close to that line. I'm going to bring this down some. I'm going to add a little bit of black to that and do this bottom area. And I'm going to do this area in black. And the same for this. A little bit more up here. And a little down here. And you just tap this color in until you like it. Okay. I still need to fix these little dots. So I'm going to come in with my blender and erase this just a little. And then I'm just going to tap on this, wiping my blender off every so often because I don't want to remove all of that black. Okay, I'm going to come in with some brown. And just tap over top of that black. Don't know if I like that, so I want to take all of that out and just tap it out, leaving the color in my blender and just tapping around. Okay. Come in with a little bit of black and brown. Not very much alcohol at all. And just add some little dots. Okay. Now to his eye, which, like I said, I'm not 100% sure of. I don't know how I'm going to do it because I do not have any type of white snow cap or anything like that, but here goes. I'm going to just do the shape of his eyeball. I put a little bit of black on my brush, and I'm going to do some black dots in here. Need a little bit more black. Just adding little dots. I don't like this, so I'm gonna take my blender and erase a little bit of that. Oh, almost marked on my paper. Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna tap that out a little bit. Now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get the white in there, considering I don't have any snow cap. So I may take acrylic paint and do that. I'm not sure yet. The acrylic paint may come through. I mean, the black alcohol ink may seep through to the white acrylic paint. I'm not 100% sure of that. But he needs the white on his eye and he needs a highlight. Other than that, I am going to come in with just a little bit of green, very, very little. Not much alcohol on your brush. And just tap in a little bit of green in areas that you see may need it. Okay. Alright, now let me figure out the eye. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of acrylic paint. You know, I should have put masking fluid over his eye. I never thought about that. Darn. This black may bleed through, but I'm going to put a white dot and then another white dot, and then I'm going to use the very tiny amount. This is my liner brush, and yeah, it's very, very crooked because I left it sitting in water. That's a no-no. But I'm going to put a line underneath his eye here, if I can. No, I don't like that eye. So, I don't like that line. I gotta turn my paper upside down, and I'm gonna come in with some black and try to correct that. I made that line way too big. Okay, I think that will do him for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this extremely long, tedious tutorial. The back and forth. My apologies. As I work with alcohol inks, hopefully I'll get better. No promise of that. But other than that, I think we are done. Let me show you guys the finished product. And there is our little sea turtle. He's absolutely a lot better than I imagined that I could have done, especially with alcohol inks. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day, y'all.